Hi guys, this is the second time I've filmed this, and I've spent the last 2 days and don't know how many attempts trying to upload and failed. It was about 16 minutes and it was saying it was too long, and I've updated my site so it'll let me do videos longer than 15 minutes, but it's still not letting me do it. And because of the new bloody, well, not new anymore, Google Plus thing, for some reason when I try and upload the way I used to, it uploads it to my actual name and not my Strangely Strange site, and it's just been a complete pain in the ass. And then when I do get it to upload, it only uploads about 3 minutes of it. So hopefully I'll get it to work this time by refilming and starting again. So, without wanting to waste too much time, I'll crack into things. This is just stuff that I've been listening to recently, and one new purchase, which is this. This is an album I've had for ages. It was one of the first albums that the kind of VC made me buy. If anyone remembers Jeff Recordman, he had this as his avatar. This is It's a Beautiful Day. Fantastic album. The version I had before was just the kind of single sleeve 70s reissue, or 80s reissue. So this has got the nice gatefold, but it's one of those horrible kind of ones when the record slides and that bit. Pain in the back as well. If you've not heard this, fantastic. White Bird, brilliant track. Hot Summer Days. Wasted Union Blues is possibly the weakest track on the album. Bombay Calling, that's the one that Deep Purple ripped off to do Child in Time. So I was listening to that Archie Shepp album again, and I was thinking, what else can I listen to? So along the same, well, not the same kind of lines, but the same kind of mood for was this, which is Moondog. This is his first album. On CBS it comes out with this nice lovely gatefold sleeve. This is a great kind of avant-garde, classical-y jazz album. If anyone doesn't know who Moondog is, he's this kind of blind, very eccentric guy that used to dress as a Viking and busk, but ended up working with lots of famous musicians. But yeah, so if you don't know this and you're fancying something a bit different, it's well worth checking out. While I was listening to that, I was also watching some YouTube videos, and Fred showed this, so I pulled it out to give it a spin. I hadn't listened to this for a while. It's a great album. Jon Gosselin and Carlos Santana. Love, Devotion and Surrender. Though I sometimes find, certainly on this album, Jon Gosselin's guitar playing is a bit abrasive in comparison to Santana's, but maybe that's the whole point of it. I'm not sure, but yeah, good kind of fusion album, which then made me pull this out, which is my favourite Santana album. This is Caravanserai. This is a first pressing again. It's on CBS. I think everything I've shown so far is on CBS. So I've obviously been in a bit of a mood for it. But this is a great album. The track, I think it's the last one on this track here, All the Love in the Universe, is amazing, really, really good. And that led me on to this. This is Larry Coryell and Basics. This is like a greatest hits, as far as I'm aware. Things like this always remind me of David, Sequoia Flame. Quite cool there. This is French pressing, I think. On the kind of green Vanguard label. But yeah, this is, well, Larry Coryell, kind of twiddly guitar stuff. I can't remember how it was. Mark, Dr. Deadwax, Squonky. Was it Squonky? Was that the word he used? Squonky guitar-y stuff. And after listening to Larry Coryell, I pulled this out, which is Dave Mason and Headkeepers. And the reason I pulled this out is because it was on Blue Thumb, which I know is David's favourite. I bought this in Edinburgh a few years ago. He's a great guitarist. It's not hugely psychedelic, as you would maybe think from the cover, but it is a good, really good kind of guitar-led rock album. So that was cool. And then a kind of complete change. I pulled this out the other morning. This is just a great kind of feel-good morning album. This is Jose Feliciano with Feliciano. This is his famous album that's got his versions of California Dreamin' and Light My Fire, and Sunny. Always something there to remind me. But yeah, you're bound to have heard his versions of California Dreamin' and Light My Fire. But yeah, well worth a listen if you're in that kind of lighter side of mood. Country Joe and the Fish. I was giving this a spin. This is electric music for the mind and body. Great psychedelic album. This is a kind of early reissue. Again, this is on Vanguard. Yeah, on the gold Vanguard label. I think original ones were on Fontana. I'd like to get them, but I'm perfectly happy with these at the moment. Something else which I hadn't listened to for a long time. This is Hapshash and the Coloured Coat, featuring the Human Host and the Heavy Metal Kids. Kind of way out there, psychedelic album. This is a reissue, came out in the 90s on Dropout Records. I think Hapshash and the Coloured Coat really started off as a design collective, and were possibly responsible for some of those, you know, those 60s pictures that you see of people standing out of shops with big murals and stuff painted on the wall. Was it Granny Takes a Trip? Possibly them that did that. They certainly did a lot of posters, I think, for the UFO Club and places like that. This was their first kind of foray into music, possibly the only foray into music, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think it steps over that line between being psychedelic and being music. It's beyond beyond music in places, and seems to be purely psychedelic for the sake of being psychedelic. But it was an interesting listen. I then was listening to this, which is the whole thing is not my favourite Grateful Dead album. Side 2, the kind of whole Terrapin Station suite, is fantastic. My favourite thing that Grateful Dead have possibly done. The first side of it isn't as strong though, I don't think. As you can see, the second side is just one whole piece, but yeah, great kind of mid-period Grateful Dead, really good. And I also pulled out this Neil Young's On the Beach. It's the only Neil Young album that I have. Probably the only Neil Young album I'll ever have. I'm not a huge fan, but there's a couple of tracks on this that I really like. Walk On, Ambulance Blues, On the Beach, are all great tracks. And it's got a great cover. This isn't the one with the kind of flowery inside though. I'd like to get hold of, but I'm not really that much of a fan that it warrants me spending the money. Right, finally, something that I've meant to do for a while is speak about these, which Fred sent, because I didn't get round to playing them for a while. But then, bizarrely on Valentine's Day, I was on a driving route, so I took them with me in the van, and I put this on in the morning. And I enjoyed this. I was expecting something a bit more electronic, a bit more maybe Tangerine Dream, Kraftwerk side of things, but it's a lot more kind of band guitar driven than I expected, but very good. I enjoyed that. And then in the afternoon, being that it was Valentine's Day, I listened to Colosseum's Valentine's Suite. And this, if I'd started listening to this in the morning, I wouldn't have got round to listen to Amon Düül, because I listened to this the rest of that day plus the whole of the next day. This is fantastic, and I'm definitely going to try and track down a copy of this on vinyl. The first few tracks there, what they called, the Kettle Elegy and Butty's Blues, were fantastic. The whole album's great. It's got like all those genres that I like: guitar freak out, kind of psychedelic garage, you know, everything I'm really kind of into. Every track seems to all be covered on this album. So thanks for that, Fred. This is really good, and I've played this a lot. So thank you. So 13 minutes. Hopefully I've rattled through that quick enough that I'll be able to get this uploaded. So I don't want to hang around too long. And as always, love to hear your comments and interact with people. I've picked up a few new subscribers, so thank you to those people if you're watching. Yeah, and take care.